Hello and welcome to another St. Olaf Fall Sports Update. Today we are joined by head men's cross country and track and field coach Brian Power. Brian, thanks for taking a few minutes to update us on what the teams have been up to.
Yeah, Michael, thanks for having me on.
So let's start with cross country. Just walk us through what your team was able to do this fall in terms of practice, workouts, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good fall for us. One of the things that we talked about a lot was that we could do as much of our sport as normal as just about any other team on campus. And, we started out with small groups. We had pods of 10 or 11 athletes, and we had about 34 guys on campus this fall. And so we're able to break into 3 pods there and still kind of have a season like normal without competition. And so we're able to focus on training and the idea that we got to be together each day. We got to have something to look forward to each day. And at the end of the day, you're walking down the hill to go on a run with your friends. And so, we had to be a little creative in how we ran our workouts. And there were certainly some days where we might have one group on the prairie loop, one on the pond loop, and then maybe another one in between. And it was just kind of interesting to work that out, figure that out. But again, we were able to put miles in. We were able to social distance and wear masks in an appropriate way outside. And I felt like we put in some really good work. When we moved it to a larger pod number around 30, that really enabled us to do a lot of the stuff we would as normal. And that also allowed us to do workouts as a group and really kind of feel like life was I don't want to say normal, but more like the previous years. And so we were able to do larger workouts. We were able to do some time trial efforts that had good groups together and work together. It's not the same. It didn't have the same feel as competition. But we're really excited about the work that the team put in and how we progressed from the start to the end of the year. I think everybody found something that they enjoyed and they're able to work on. So it was sort of unique too, because we'd certainly had our traditional cross country training, and then some of our middle distance guys did more of a full year middle distance training where they did some of the cross country training, but they would also work on some of the shorter speed work once or twice a week in order to prepare them for events like 800 and 1500 meters in the outdoor season. And that was kind of fun to have something that they look forward to. And it was really good, way for them to check out some different energy systems work in different ways all fall.
And then how about on the track and field side of things? What were they able to do outside while the weather was nice this fall?
Yeah, track was great. We were really lucky that we have an outstanding staff with Coach Connor O'Neill, Coach Frank Worth, our throws coach, and of course our newest addition to our staff, Coach Will Rosano. And for those men to step up and to run the sprints, jumps, and throws for us, there are a lot of opportunities with that. And so again, we were able to kind of pod them and based on different ways. We're really excited that we have a larger multi-events group this year. In our combined events, we have about 6 guys in that group. And so we kind of podded them together with our hurdlers, and that was pod 1. And pod 2 was more of our traditional sprinters and a couple of our jumpers. And, it was something where, they were able to get a dedicated 4 days of work a week in warm weather outside. We talked a lot about, getting some vitamin D, being together as a team, and just having something, again, to look forward to at the end of the day every day. The normal student doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to look forward to being with their friends outdoors in a bigger group setting and working out like we do. And so it was really exciting to have that. We did several mock competitions and that kind of thing, just to kind of get a sense of where everybody was. It was really fun to do that. We did some relays, teaching handoffs for people who've never been on a relay before, or maybe we're used to some different techniques is always entertaining. Fun to see them jumping. Excuse me. And even as we taught some of those decathletes how to pole vault. We're moving Steve Pepper into the decathlon this year. We're really excited to see what he's going to be able to do. He was ranked 34th in the country last year in the high jump. And he was 1 centimeter off his PR this fall in his only competition style jump. And there's a lot left there. So we're really excited to see what he can do as he grabs some new events. And he and Logan Day, another upperclassman on our team, and of course, our course have just been great leaders for us on the track side of things. And to say for that too, I want to give a lot of credit to Primo and Michael Finn for just being terrific leaders for cross country and helping to guide things there. And the rest of the senior class really stepped up to help us out. And, as we adjust to the new normal, it was important to have good leadership. And I think that made life seem a little bit more bearable for everybody.
Then you talked a little bit about it with pod sizes and that type of thing, but what was different this year from a coaching perspective with all the COVID protocols and everything going along with that?
Yeah, I think some of the easy things that, just that are part of everyday life where the group gathers together and you address them as a team, and to be able to have those quick conversations as you work your way through the group, whether it's at the beginning or end of the day, and not, it wasn't horrible because you could still do that to a degree, but having to make sure you're 6 feet away, having to be masked and not be able to see facial expressions from either speaker. For me, I'm definitely a coach who likes to, tease and get that back and forth. And I realized quickly that they couldn't always tell if I was joking. So we had to figure out another way to communicate. I think that's a really key thing there. We just had to be mindful about everything. And so, making sure everybody was comfortable with how we ran our drills and that kind of thing. And we did have to move indoors with the track guys for 1 week where we had snow on the ground really mid-October, and having to adjust to share the space with the women in a different way than in the past, whereas before we'd all kind of worked together and made that work. We had to really be careful about how we were spaced and who was in the facility at that time and that sort of thing. And we made it work, and it was great. Our coaches really work well together, and our guys do too. And so that was a key thing there, was just taking care of that. The biggest thing was we missed competition, and the cross country guys did an awesome job of kind of rallying to get up for some of those time trial efforts. We did a couple distances on the course. We did a 5K, we did an 8K. We did a 5K and an 8K on the track. We left campus and we did a Hokum Karam relay, which is a 2-person 4-by-mile relay where your rest is your partners. And that was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We had some guys PR in the mile on their 4th mile, which is outstanding. And but again, it wasn't the same. And so adjusting to that and our expectations was interesting. There certainly was stresses on campus on the fall, and I was happy that we had an outlet for the guys. And I recognize being able to gear up for a race is a privilege, to get on the bus with the team and that kind of thing is a key thing there. And so we certainly missed that.
And then you were able to keep the cross-country alumni race tradition going this year, despite not being able to have people come to campus. Just walk us through how that worked and how the turnout was.
Yeah, that was awesome. Coach Maker was kind enough to work with us with that, and we kind of came up with an idea that we hope to continue in the next few years. And we decided to take it virtual because each team had their checkpoints where they were all running different races and distances. And so we set up our traditional alumni 5K, which is one of our favorite times. We love when the alumni come back. We love to be able to connect with them. For me, being the new cross country coach and having only been at St. Olaf for at this point about a year and a half, I love to get to know them and hear their stories about why they love St. Olaf. And I know for myself as an athlete, my favorite memories are from when I was at the college, and I know how important that is to connect with my teammates. And so anytime we can bring alums back or have them come see us and check in with the guys is really important to us. And so we decided to take it virtual, and we advertised it in a couple different mediums, and we have some ideas to improve on that in the future. But we were so excited to see that we had over 100 people take part in it, male and female. And we had some incentives that I think definitely sparked some of the athletes where, if you had the most men and women in your class that participated, you would get a alumni shirt. And we actually had 3 classes tie for that. So that was really cool. So it was a lot of mailings. So if you haven't received yours yet, you should in the next few days. So we got them out in the last week or so. Those who had donated $50 or more got an alumni racing singlet too, which we're excited to see those out in the community. And I do know there was an older alum who says he doesn't intend to race, but he's going to frame it. And I think that's awesome. But we're hopeful that in 2021 we can do it in person and have as many people back on campus as we can to race and to put on their alumni jersey. but we also want to keep that virtual option open so that everybody feels like they're connecting with us. And I think that's a really important part, because cross country bonds do last for years. When you put in several thousand miles with someone, that's a friendship that extends beyond your time at the Hill. And so we're really excited to kind of build from there and do some more stuff with alumni in the future. But I really think it speaks to the history of the program, the coaches that have come before me have built, and of course, Coach Damon on the women's side, that we had that many alumni participate and really reach out and be engaged and challenge each other. And I think one of my favorite parts is we had an alum that said it took him 40 years to beat our designated self-encourager, our super fan, Mark Agerbeck. So I think we all had a good laugh at that, and it was exciting to see, alums from different eras rallying each other to contribute.
Well, thanks, Brian, for taking the time to fill us in on how the fall went for men's cross country and men's track and field. And hopefully you can stay safe over here over this upcoming break, and we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.